Yeah, Vidya Mataji, when are you ready? You can start, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavati Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavati Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavati Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Shiva Narottamam Devim Swaraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Muriraye Nashta Prayeshu Abhareshu Nityam Bhagavati Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamasloke Bhakti Bhavati Nastiki. Today we are reading from Canto 7, Chapter 7, What Prahalad Learned in the Womb, Text 1 through 11. Text 1. Narad Muni said, although Prahalad Maharaj was born in a family of Asuras, he was the greatest of all devotees. Having thus been questioned by his class friends, the son of the Asuras, he remembered the words spoken to him by me and replied to his friends as followed. Text 2. Prahalad Maharaj said, when our father Hiranyakashipu went to the Mandarachala mountain to execute severe austerities, in his absence the demigods, headed by King Indra, made a severe attempt to subdue all the demons in warfare. Text 3. Alas, as a serpent is eaten by small ants, so the troublesome Hiranyakashipu, who always inflicted miseries upon all types of people, has now been defeated by the reactions of his own sinful activities. Saying this, the demigods, headed by King Indra, arranged to fight the demons. Text 4 and 5. When the great leaders of the demons, who were being killed one after another, saw the unprecedented exertion of the demigods in fighting, they began to flee, scattering themselves in all directions. Simply to protect their lives, they hastily fled from their homes, wives, children, animals, and household paraphernalia. Paying no heed to all these, the demons simply fled. Text 6. The victorious demigods plundered the palace of Hiranyakashipu, the king of the demons, and destroyed everything within it. Then Indra, king of heaven, arrested my mother, the queen. Text 7. As she was being led away, crying in fear like a kurari captured by a vulture, the great sage Narada, who at that time had no engagement, appeared on the scene and saw her in that condition. Text 8. Narada Muni said, O Indra, king of the demigods, this woman is certainly sinless. You should not drag her off in this merciless way. O greatly fortunate one, this chaste woman is the wife of another. You must immediately release her. Text 9. King Indra said, in the womb of this woman, the wife of the demon Hiranyakashipu, is the seed of that great demon. Therefore, let her remain in our custody until her child is delivered, and then we shall release her. Text 10. Narada Muni replied, the child within this woman's womb is fruitless and sinless. Indeed, he is a great devotee, a powerful servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, you will not be able to kill him. Text 11. When the great Saint Narada Muni had thus spoken, King Indra, being respectful to Narada's words, immediately released my mother. Because of my being a devotee of the Lord, all the demigods circumambulated her. Then they returned to the celestial kingdom. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you so much, Vidya Mataji. Hare Krishna. Yeah, when are you ready, Krishna and Prabhu, you can start, Prabhu.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Prabhu, for giving this opportunity to purify myself. Thank you all for joining today's Bhagavatam session. And thank you, Vidya Mataji, for reading for today's Bhagavatam section slokas translations. So I'll start with prayers. Om Ajnanatimidandasya Gnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschaptadeshatarni Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktarunda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam 7th Canto and 7th chapter. This is a new chapter and title is What Prahlada Learned in the Womb. So just to give a background, we're in the section of Prahlad Maharaj. So the last chapter we heard from various wonderful devotees about Prahlad Maharaj's instructions to his class friends. So he spoke very nicely. Prahlad Maharaj gave wonderful Krishna conscious philosophy to the his friends who were all the sons of demons, asuras. And Prahlad Maharaj stressed taking up Krishna consciousness from the beginning of the life, especially when one is in the one who got the human form of the body should take up this process of bhakti yoga and make their human life successful instead of addicting or indulging in sense gratification activities all the time. So at least they have to take some time out of their in their daily timeline and practice this Krishna consciousness, not to spend all their time for the earning of the wealth or any other material activities like that. And they should start from the beginning of the life. And then Prahlad Maharaj mentions how he had received the spiritual knowledge from Narada Muni. And he also stressed that so whatever I spoke, because I'm speaking what I received from Narada Muni as it is. So if you take up this knowledge and implement in your day-to-day life activities, mold your activities in such a way that it is connected to this spiritual knowledge, then you will also able to make your human life successful or able to understand the Supreme Lord, spiritual life like that. And then his friends asked at the end of the chapter, last chapter, that we are all under the control of Shanda and Amarka, who are their teachers, and we are all in the school. Then how did you got the association of Narada Muni, and how did you got this knowledge? How did you learn from him? Because it's very difficult, because we are always under the control of this teachers Shanda and Amarka like that. And to answer his friends for the question they asked, Prahlad Maharaj started explaining or narrating how he learned this spiritual knowledge when he was in the womb of his mother from the great spiritual devotee, the devotee Narada Muni, like that, in this chapter. So we'll go through from the slokas 1 to 11 today. So in the first sloka, we see that Narada Muni is saying that Prahlad Maharaj, though he was born in the family of Asuras, but he is the greatest of all devotees. And being questioned by his friends, so he remembered the words, Prahlad Maharaj remembered the words spoken by Narada Muni and replied to his friends. So of course, this whole pastime of Hiranyakashipu and Prahlad Maharaj, all these things, so narrated by Narada Muni to Yudhishthira Maharaj. So Narada Muni is mentioning to Yudhishthira Maharaj here that Prahlad Maharaj, though he was born in the demonic family, but is the greatest of all devotees. So this shows that the process of bhakti yoga or practicing this bhakti yoga process. So one can perfect their life. Doesn't matter in which family they were born or which country they born, like that. So it's not just for the sect of people who were born in the land of Bharat or people who were born in the exalted higher family caste or like that, the Brahmanas, are not only for the people who are renounced, like in the order of the renounced order, like sannyasis, or who are expert in Vedic literature, like that. So this is this process of bhakti yoga for everyone. So Krishna also mentions in Bhagavad Gita that whoever takes up this process of bhakti yoga, even if they are born in a family of Chandalas are like, the Papa Yonaha. So Mam Hi Parda Epasritya E Api Suya Papa Yonaha. Like, even though they were born in the lower family or lower birth, but if they take up this process of Bhakti Yoga, they can Yanti Param Gatim, like, they can attain the supreme destination. So we can see this through the scripture of Ramayana, like, so Lord Ramachandra's devotees, they belong various categories. In the Ramayana, we see like, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrugna, so are the residents of Ayodhya. So they were all great devotees of Lord Ramachandra who were in the human form and in the male body. So many of them in the male body, like, Shabara. So though she was born in the lower caste, like, tribal, and in the form of the woman body, she also perfected her life by practicing Krishna consciousness. And Vibhishna is similar to Prahlad Maharaj. He was born in the Asura family, but he became a great devotee. And not only the personalities who has the human form of the body, but even we see from Ramayana that, Hanumanji, who is in the form of the monkey body. So he became a great devotee. In fact, is the perfect example for Dasya, so the servant. And Sugriva, Angada, many monkey warriors, they're all, though they are in the form of the monkey, but they became great devotee. Similarly, like, Jambavan is in the form of the bear body, Jatayu. So like that, various categories of personalities, by practicing the path of Bhakti Yoga, so they all became, they perfected their life. So this process is anyone and everyone can take up and then perfect their life. So whoever takes up this process, they will be purified and they can experience the transcendental bliss. So in Bhagavatam also it is mentioned, Kirata, Huna, Handra, Pulinda, Pulkasa, like, these are all the sects of the people who are addicted to sinful activities. But so when they take up the Krishna consciousness, under the guidance of a bona fide devotee, they'll become purified, Suddhyanti. Many examples of them, like, I know a dacoit, Ratnakar. So he became a Valmiki Mahamuni because he followed the instructions given by a bona fide devotee, Narada Muni. So similarly, Srila Prabhupada's many initial devotees, they were hippies, addicted to all kind of sinful activities. But under the guidance of Srila Prabhupada, they practiced this Krishna consciousness, and now they are guiding many other people also, become wonderful devotees. So another point Srila Prabhupada mentions in the purport that when Prahlad Maharaj learned this spiritual knowledge from Narada Muni, he was in the womb of the mother, his mother. And from earlier cantos, from Kapila Bhagavan's teachings, we understand the position of a baby in the womb of the mother. It's very difficult. The baby goes through so much suffering because it's not a very comfortable position. So in the womb, there is a blood, pus, and many insects are coming and biting the tender body of the baby. So it's a very suffering situation. But still, Prahlad Maharaj received this great knowledge being in the womb of the mother. So Prabhupada stresses that any material condition will not obstruct the progress of the spiritual life. So though we may be kept in sometimes in a difficult or challenging situation, the material conditions may not be very conducive or proper, but still those will not should not be obstruct our spiritual life. That's why the pure devotion is called apratihata, uninterrupted. So in any material condition, one can be able to practice this Krishna consciousness, ahaitika apratihata, like that. So then in the second sloka, we see that Prahlad Maharaj is saying that when his father Hiranyakashipu performing a severe austerity, so King Indra, along with all his demigods, he attempted to subdue all the demons in a warfare. So this we heard in the earlier chapters, we heard Hiranyakashipu intending to become immortal, he performed a severe austerity. So he went to Mandarachala mountain, standing with his toes on the ground, keeping his arms upward and looking towards the sky. So which is a very difficult position. And being in that very difficult position, he performed a severe austerity for 36,000 earthly years, and that too without drinking water. So very severe austerities. And during that time, while Hiranyakashipu is performing his tapasya in Mandarachala mountain, so the king of heavenly planet, Indra, along with his many other demigods, he attempted to subdue all the demons in warfare. And the third sloka, we see that so Indra is mentioning that how a serpent is eaten by a small ant. So similarly, this troublesome Hiranyakashipu, because Hiranyakashipu created many troubles to many people. So always inflicted miseries upon all types of people, because he harassed many of them. So now being defeated by the reaction of his own sinful activities. And this is a very nice analogy. And Prabhupada mentions that when someone's bad karma acts on them, so like the analogy is given serpent. So due to the bad karma of the serpent, Ahi, so if it is wounded, so maybe wounded, and then it is in a situation where it cannot move. So at the same time, some ants, people, okay, they come and starts eating the body of the snake because of the bad karma of the serpent. So, so similarly, so one may be very strong, very powerful, like Hiranyakashipu, or very strong and very maybe in higher position. If their bad karma reaction starts, then they can be defeated by a simple person who could be not very rich, or who could be not very strong, or maybe he may not be in a very high position. He can be defeated because of the bad karmic reaction starts acting on the person who is in a high position or very rich, like that. So we see that sometimes a rich person may lose everything, all his riches, and becomes pauper. So like sometime back we heard that there is a great forest fire in Hollywood area of California, and all their houses are burned to ashes within few minutes, and they all became homeless just in couple of minutes. So similarly, if a person's good karma acts, then they can become rich within no time, like that. So, so that's why we don't know, of course, what reactions are in our account and when it will act, which one will act, what time, like that. So that's why Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita, the philosophy of karma is very hard to understand. Karmano gahano gadhi. It's very complex. Of course, at the high level, we understand that if somebody performs a good activities, then they will receive good results. And similarly, bad activities, then they will get bad results. But ultimately, whether bad reactions or good reactions, to take them, so we have to take birth again. So taking birth again in this material world means, so one should go through the janma mrityu jara vyadhi, like birth, death, old age, diseases, which are suffering. So whether good or bad, ultimately they are not very good. Even the good reactions also not very good. So that's why the scriptures stresses that one should take up the process of bhakti yoga, which is akarma. There is no reactions for these activities. Not only that, so it will also burn our previous sinful reactions. Even if we have some sinful reactions in our account, they will be burned. Karmani nirdahati chakintu bhakti bhajam. So as soon as one takes up the process of bhakti yoga, so our bad karma will be burnt. So we will not go through so much suffering. And not only that, so when one is purified enough, then they can go back to Godhead also, escaping all this birth, death, old age, diseases, like that. So similarly, here also Hiranyakashipu, due to his sinful activities, so those by the reactions of his own sinful activities, so now Indra is saying that he will be defeated. So all their demonic soldiers will be defeated. So that we see in the next slokas, like in the 4 and 5, when the great leaders of the demon, so they were being killed one after another. Saw the unprecedented exertion, Atibala Udyogam. So, and they started fleeing from the war because they were not able to counteract the demigods' strength. So simply to protect their lives. So prana paripasvaha, like that. So they fled from their homes, wives, children, animals, and household peripheral. Like paying no heed to all this, the demons simply fled. Paritaha. Like, they quickly they ran away like that. And then text 6, see the victorious demigods, they plundered the palace of Hiranyakashipu. So they plundered. And not only they plundered, so they destroyed everything within it. And not only that, they arrested Prahlad Maharaja's mother, who is the queen of the kingdom, Raja Mahesham. So Kayadu. So the king of heaven, Indra, he arrested the mother of Prahlad Maharaj, Kayadu. And then not only that, so she was dragged by King Indra. So when she was being led by like that, so great sage Narada Muni, who at that time no engagement, Adruchya, like all of a sudden, so he appeared on that scene and he saw Kayadu, the wife of Hiranyakashipu, the mother of Prahlad Maharaj, in that condition. And then Narada Muni started speaking. So he's saying that here in the 8th sloka, that this woman is certainly sinless. So he was speaking to the demigods, especially to Indra, that so he should not drag her off in this merciless way. And not only that, he's saying that, oh, greatly fortunate one. He addressing Indra, Mahabhaga, like a greatly fortunate one. So this chaste woman is the wife of another. Paraparigraham, like she is the wife of another. So she should not be dragged like that. Not only that, she should be released immediately. So Narada Muni is suggesting King Indra to release Kayadu because she is the wife of another person, Hiranyakashipu. And she is not only that, she is a sinless. So she is sinless and faultless. So that's why should not be treated like that, and immediately release her. And then now King Indra replying to Narada Muni is saying that, the reason why we arrested Prahlad Maharaj's mother, so he's revealing it here. He's saying that in the womb of this woman, so Jatare, like in the womb of this woman, Kayadu, who is the wife of the demon Hiranyakashipu, is the seed, Viryam, is of the great demon. So Indra is saying to Narada Muni that, the baby who is in the womb of the Kayadu, the wife of the demon Hiranyakashipu, it's the seed of this great demon Hiranyakashipu. So that's why he intended to keep her in Indra's custody, like in his custody, until the child is delivered, then release her. So that's the reason, like Prabhupada mentions that because Kayadi is pregnant, Indra is thinking that because the baby who is in the womb of this woman, Kayadu, is the seed of this demon Hiranyakashipu. So there is a greater chance that this baby also may be possessing the same qualities of Hiranyakashipu. He will also become a great demon. So if he becomes great demon and he is alive, then he will trouble all the demigods in the future. So that's why Indra, thinking like that, so he arrested the mother of Prahlad Maharaj and he wanted to keep her in his custody. And as soon as the baby is born, then he will release and he will also kill the baby, because he was thinking that this baby will also become a powerful demon. So he will create troubles to them. So instead of waiting until this baby will give trouble, so he wanted to kill at that time. Another thing we see that, from this, we see that, in the past, the cultured people, they don't kill a baby who is in the womb. They don't kill. But as Kali Yuga progress, we see that, sometimes even parents themselves, so they go for abortion and killing their own baby because they don't want the baby at that time, like that. Or maybe they are not looking the gender what they are hoping to be born, like that. So as Kali Yuga progress, the things are getting more worse like that. And then the 10th sloka, so Narada Muni replied that, so this woman's womb, the child within the woman's womb is faultless and sinless. So indeed is a great devotee, Mahabhagavata. And not only that, is a powerful servant, Ananta Anuchara, of the Supreme Lord. So therefore you will not be able to kill him. And Prabhupada mentions in the purport that sometimes either demons or non-devotees, they try to kill the pure devotee, but it cannot happen. So they cannot be able to destroy it. So we see in the scriptures in many places, like, in Chaitanya Charitamrita also we hear that, the Muslim ruler Kaji, so he ordered Srila Haridas Thakur to give up the chanting, otherwise he will kill. But Srila Haridas Thakur, he did not give up chanting. Then the Muslim ruler Kaji, he ordered his servants to kill Srila Haridas Thakur. So those servants, they dragged Srila Haridas Thakur in 22 markets and beat him like anything, intending to kill him, but they were not able to kill him. So that's why Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita that Kaunteya Pratijani Name Bhakta Pranashyata. Like Prabhupada quotes this Bhagavad Gita statement by Supreme Lord Krishna, that his devotees will never perish. And Prabhupada mentions that this is the declaration of the Supreme Lord. His devotees cannot be killed by demons or non-devotees, anything like that. And here we see that Prahlad Maharaj is the perfect example. So in the earlier chapter also we saw that, Prahlad Maharaj's father Hiranyakashipu, he tried many ways to kill Prahlad Maharaj, but he was not able to kill, because Krishna is protecting his dear devotee. So that's why here Narada Muni is saying that even though you are a powerful demigod, the king of heaven, Indra, but still you will not be able to kill him. And what to speak of others? If even Indra cannot be able to kill, then what to speak of others? No one can kill, because Krishna's protection is there. So in the last sloka of today's session, the 11th sloka, so when great saint Narada Muni spoken like this, Indra, we see here very nice. So being respectful to Narada's words, immediately released Prahlad Maharaj's mother. And not only that, because Narada Muni mentioned that the baby in the womb of this woman, Kayadu, is the devotee of the Lord, all the demigods accumulated, and then they returned to their celestial kingdom. And Prabhupada talks about the parampara system, or accepting the words as it is that were instructed by a pure devotee or bona fide devotee. So although King Indra and many other demigods, they were there, they're all exalted personalities, but they are very obedient to Narada Muni. So as soon as Narada Muni mentioned that, you cannot kill and is a great devotee, you should release, immediately they accepted Narada Muni's words. And Prabhupada says that this is the understanding of the parampara system. So Indra doesn't know that, the baby that is in the womb of this woman, Kayadu, is a great devotee. Indra doesn't know. But when Narada Muni mentioned that, so he's a great devotee, he accepted it. Indra immediately accepted the statement of Narada Muni. So the authoritative states. And not only that, we see that here he offered his obeisances or respects to the devotee who is in the womb of this woman, Kayadu, and they circumambulated. We see here. This is the process of receiving knowledge. So one would receive the knowledge from the bona fide devotee who is coming from the bona fide sampradaya. So there is no need to speculate it. So is it really correct? Whatever is mentioned in the scriptures or whatever is mentioned by these great devotees. So there is no need to speculate with our tiny brain, because even if we speculate with our tiny brain, so we cannot able to come to the perfect conclusion, absolute truth, because we have 4 defects that are mentioned, like our senses are imperfect, we are in illusion, and the greatest illusion of everybody is most of the conditioned living entities in this material world, especially I speak to myself. So we think we are this body. So that is the greatest illusion. and we have a cheating tendency, and we do many mistakes like that, with all these things. So if we try to speculate to come up with some instructions, they may not be perfect unless they in line with the Vedic scriptures or the teachings of the pure devotee. So that's why Prabhupada mentions that this big scientist, so hoping that they try to find so many things, they try to invent so many things, hoping to help the people, to make them happy. But ultimately, with their speculations, whatever they come up with many ideas, so instead of giving happiness or adding more happiness to the people, so actually they are giving more troubles and problems. So that's why as the Kali Yuga is progressing, people are more unhappy, more distressed, more anxious. So that's why Prabhupada stresses that there is no need to speculate. We just take the spiritual knowledge that is coming through the parampara system, through the bona fide devotees, and practice based on that knowledge, and then we can be happy, and we can experience the transcendental bliss. And not only that, if we practice enough, progress in the path of bhakti yoga, then we can also break the cycle of the birth and death, old age diseases like that, and escape all the problems, and then go back home, back to heart, back to Godhead, and situate in our eternal service to the Supreme Lord, and stay transcendently blissful condition. So I'll pause it here for today. Thank you all for giving this opportunity. Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.